on Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 4.23.11 onwards. Hare Krishna, Brajamohan Prabhuji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your time on this call, and you can take over, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Are you on YouTube?
No, Mataji, the system here is not supporting. I still have to figure out why it's not happening.
Okay, so can you start your camera?
My camera?
Yeah, it's on top. You just click on that camera and we can see you.
Okay, 1 minute.
No, Prabhuji, just click on the icon, Prabhuji, which is on top of the screen.
Instead of audio call, Prabhu, if you are on the video call, the camera gets on.
Yeah. Okay, now it's good.
Am I visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Should I start?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 23. Prithu Maharaj leaves for the forest, text number 11. Tasya naya bhagavata parikarma shuddha sattvatmanastad anusansmarananupurtya jnanam virakti mad aburnishitena yena chicheda samsaya padam nija jiva kosham. The translation for this verse and purport by Divine Grace Swami Srila Prabhupada. By regularly discharging devotional service, Prithu Maharaj became transcendental in mind and could therefore constantly think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because of this, he became completely detached and attained perfect knowledge, by which he could transcend all doubt. Thus, he was freed from the clutches of false ego and the material concept of life. Purport. In the Narada Pancharatra, devotional service to the Lord is likened unto a queen. When a queen gives an audience, many maidservants follow her. The maidservants of devotional service are material opulence, liberation, and mystic powers. The karmis are very much attached to material enjoyment. The gyanis are very anxious to become freed from the material clutches. And the yogis are very fond of attaining the 8 kinds of mystic perfection. From Narada Pancharatra, we understand that if one attains the stage of pure devotional service, he also attains all the opulences derived from fruitive activities, empiric philosophical speculation, and mystic yoga practice. Srila Bilvamangal Thakur therefore prayed in his Krishna Karunamrita, "My dear Lord, if I unflinching devotion unto you, you become manifest before me personally, and the results of fruitive activity and empiric philosophical speculation namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, become like personal attendants and remain standing before me as I am waiting, as if awaiting my order. The idea here is that the Jnanis, by culture of Brahma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, struggle very hard to get out of the clutches of material nature. But a devotee, by dint of his advancement in devotional service, automatically becomes detached from his material body. When the devotee's spiritual body begins to manifest, he actually enters into his activities in transcendental life. At present, we have contacted a material body, material mind and material intelligence. But when we become free from these material conditions, our spiritual body, spiritual mind and spiritual intelligence become manifest. In the transcendental state, a devotee attains all the benefits of karma, jnana and yoga. Although he never engages in fruitive activities or empiric speculation to attain mystic powers, automatically mystic powers appear in his service. A devotee does not want any kind of material opulence, but such opulence appears before him automatically. He does not have to endeavor for it. Because of his devotional service, he automatically becomes Brahma Bhuta. As stated before, this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam chayo vibhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhujaya kalpate. One who is engaged in devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Because of his regular discharge of devotional service, a devotee attains the transcendental stage of life. Since his mind is transcendentally situated, he cannot think of anything but the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the meaning of the word samsmarana anupurtya. By constantly thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, the devotee immediately becomes situated in Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva refers to that platform which is above the modes of material nature, including the mode of goodness. In the material world, the mode of goodness is considered to be representative of the highest perfection. But one has to transcend this mode and come to the stage of Shuddha Sattva, or pure goodness, where the three qualities of material nature cannot act. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives the following example. If one has strong digestive power, after eating, he automatically lights a fire within his stomach to digest everything and does not need to take medicine to aid his digestion. Similarly, the fire of devotional service is so strong that the devotee does not need to act separately to attain perfect knowledge or detachment from material attractions. A jnani may become detached from material attractions by prolonged discussions on subjects of knowledge, and may in this way finally come to the Brahma Bhuta stage. But a devotee does not have to undergo so much trouble. By virtue of his devotional service, he attains the Brahma Bhuta stage without a doubt. The yogis and jnanis are always doubtful about their constitutional position. Therefore, they mistakenly think of becoming one with the Supreme. However, a devotee's relationship with the Supreme becomes manifest beyond all doubt, and immediately understands that his position is that of eternal servant of the Lord. Jnanis and yogis without devotion may think themselves liberated, but actually their intelligence is not as pure as that of a devotee. In other words, the Jnanis and yogis cannot become factually liberated unless they become elevated to the position of the devotees. Ruya krichrena param padam tata patantyado anadata yushvadanga. Bhagavatam 10.2.32. The Jnanis and yogis may rise to the highest position, Brahman realization, but because of their lack of devotion unto the lotus feet of the Lord, they again fall down into material nature. Therefore, jnana and yoga should not be accepted as the real processes of liberation. By discharging devotional service, Maharaj Prithu automatically transcended all these positions. Since Maharaj Prithu was a Shaktiavesh incarnation of the Supreme Lord, he did not have to act in any way to attain liberation. He came from the Vaikuntha world or spiritual sky in order to execute the will of the Supreme Lord on earth. Consequently, he was to return home back to God without having to execute jnana, yoga or karma. Although Prithu Maharaj was eternally a pure devotee of the Lord, he nonetheless adopted the process of devotional service in order to teach the people in general the proper process for executing duties of life and ultimately returning home back to God. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Ancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My extreme pleasure to be amidst the devotees on this conference call, and it's in the outside world it's a special day today, being the first day of this decade. It's like there were 80s, there were 90s, there were 2000s, there were 2010s. So from today onwards, the new decade starts, and so even in our temple, so many visitors since yesterday. We don't get this many visitors except for Janmashtami. Is no other festival. There are this many visitors that come. So, and some of you might have spent late night with some different devotee functions also. Even devotees had different programs to yesterday night, just to keep others safe from going into all these different parties. So those of you who are on this conference call, that's one definite proof that either you have not woken up too late yesterday night to be able to be there for the call today morning, or that in spite of having a late night like today morning, although some brahmacharis had programs till 1 a.m., still they were there for the Mangalarti. So some of you may be like that. So to all the devotees, thank you for joining the call. And this, as last time also I was saying, that this particular section is dealing with devotion service in the mode of goodness. Prithu Maharaj exemplifies that, and Prabhupada also here mentions that Prithu Maharaj is actually an incarnation of the Lord. He is the Shaktiavit incarnation. In one place, Prabhupada says that Prithu Maharaj is incarnation of management. That how do you manage the earth planet, and how do you manage the world, the people, how do you deal with apparently those who are equals like Indra is being shown. And you'll see that the whole Bhagavatam portrays this whole theme of presenting reversals in lives of devotees and also role reversals, that apparently somebody who's supposed to be senior, somebody who's supposed to be more advanced, he is not as advanced, and there is somebody else who is in a junior role, in a subordinate role, but his glories are portrayed. And that's why I was just hearing Radhika Raman too. He was mentioning that how Bhagavatam, it kind of presents similar stories as in other Puranas, but the perspective and the way in which Bhagavatam presents is entirely different from other Puranas. And he was mentioning that usually in the pastime of Indra and Vritrasura, Indra is glorified in other Puranas. That Indra is somebody who killed Vritrasura, this demon. But if you see Bhagavatam, it is not Indra who is glorified. The hero of this whole pastime is actually Vritrasura. How in spite of him being a Asura, being a Rakshasa, fighting against Indra, still he had such a depth of devotion, and his prayers are one of the favorite prayers of many devotees. That how, O Krishna, just like you take care, just like a mother takes care of her children, like a bird takes care of its offsprings through feeding, or a cow takes care of its children, of its calf by feeding, or a lover takes care of his beloved by being with them and by showing affection. So, mano didriksha. So same way, my mind, I want to be absorbed in you. And another very strong role reversal which we see is in the Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni apparently a renunciate, a sannyasi, ascetic, and Ambarish Maharaj was a grahastha. And usually the whole world will naturally think Durvasa is more advanced than Ambarish Maharaj. But in this pastime, then the glories of Ambarish Maharaj are brought out, that how, although being in the world, is using everything that is there around him only to please the Lord. So you will see the sons being more advanced than the fathers, Hiranyakashipu not being advanced, whereas Prahlad Maharaj being advanced. And you will see that how, although Hiranyakashipu was speaking great philosophy in the beginning of the 7th canto, you see that he doesn't apply that philosophy. And this is also which also discusses in this purport, is that some have jnana, but that jnana doesn't transform into vairagya. That knowledge doesn't transform into detachment. And one such was Hiranyakashipu. And then we have Kamsa, who has affection, but that affection was not for a devotee. There was affection for a devotee who was Devaki, but then it was not devotion service, because that affection was materially motivated. So Bhagavatam just jolts. That's why in the beginning of the Bhagavatam it says, Dharma projita kaita vatra paramo nirmat saranam satam. That the whole purpose of Bhagavatam is to uproot all kinds of dharma projita. Ujjita means to throw out something, and projita means to completely throw out something. And Bhagavatam, it just completely throws out all the different misconceptions or conceptions that one may have about bhakti, about going back to Godhead. So therefore, amongst all the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam is considered the best because it genuinely brings out who is the real hero in different episodes. And if you read the first canto, the Pandavas, the stories of the Mahabharata, all the intricate details are not mentioned, but the essence of it, Bhishma's prayers of Queen Kunti, and Arjuna's dilemma, the Yudhishthira Maharaj's eager anxiety for Arjuna, and then ultimately the discussion between Bhishma and Pandavas, that Ayo Dharmanandana, that although you are the son, you are Dharma personified, how could this happen? And typically if you read the Mahabharata, it's so vast and so many perspectives that are presented. The bhakti perspective may be lost, but then Bhagavatam brings that bhakti perspective in through Bhishma, through Kunti. Otherwise, Kunti is not much kind of considered as somebody who has done great tasks. And then we have role reversals in the Yagyapatni's wives, and typical kind of, especially in a where Vedic or post modern times, the husbands are considered to be superior and the wives are considered to be subordinate. But if you see in the case of Nagapatnis, in the case of Yagnapatnis, the wives of the Brahmanas, they took more precedence than that. They were more surrendered to Krishna than the Brahmanas, than the Kaliya. Same way the demons being more advanced like Bali Maharaj, than the demigods like Indra being more detached, Bali and Vamana pastime. So therefore it's very fascinating to read and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's one of the ways by which we have to approach Bhagavatam, to be fascinated by these pastimes. That how could this happen? We should not just take that, okay, things have happened so long. The same fascination that we have. This was one of the verses we discussed, that he was so interested to give up and practice austerities as he was interested to take up. So there was equal enthusiasm in taking up and then in giving up by Prithu Maharaj. So that kind of so when we read and discuss these pastimes, we know what it is to practice bhakti. So therefore, examples of devotees in the scriptures and in our surroundings and in the world is important for us to know, oh, this is not what I am supposed to be getting into. And the world, and especially the Vaishnava tradition, lost a great soul just few days back. His Holiness Srimad Bhagavatam Swami. He was one of the acharyas of Madhva Mat, but Madhvacharya. He had established Sri Krishna Udupi deity, and to take care of their worship, he made an amazing system of. He divided the whole into 8 mattas, the worship into 8 mattas, and every matta gets opportunity to do worship of Udupi Krishna for 2 years, and after 2 years, then the next another matta they take up the worship. So in this way, every 16 years, that particular matta gets the chance to directly worship Udupi Krishna, and rest of the time they have their in each matta also Madhvacharya established deities, Hayagriva, Narasimha, and Ramachandra. So they worship different their particular deities, and every 16 years they get the opportunity. And Sripad Pejar Swami was one who took sannyas at the age of 7. Now, at the age of 7, what kind of intelligence or what kind of maturity is there? But he was such a devotee that his guru and the people there, they understood that he is qualified, and at the age of 7 he was given sannyas. And then he became Acharya very young. When his turn came, he became the Acharya. And then like that, just 2 years back, again his turn had come to become and this time he denied. He said that I don't know how long I will last, and I will. So he wanted his successor to take up the post. But his successor also, it was such a wonderful gesture. He said that you take this because it's going to be one of the rarest things that nobody in the history of Madhva tradition has received this service in their term 5th time, because every 16 years. So imagine somebody becomes sannyasi around 25, 30. So even if somebody does 4 times, it is 64 years. So he doing 5th time means 80 years. So usually no one lives that long. So it was something historic. So some of the brahmacharis and Raghunath Maharaj also had gone for that ceremony, and so it was a nice gesture from his subordinate, the current Acharya, to want him to take the Akshay Patra. There is a whole ceremony by which they reinstate somebody as the Acharya for the next 2 years. And then last few days he was going through a lot of medical trouble, and then just few days back the news came that he passed away in Bangalore. So I thought I'd just mention something that I know about him, read about him, heard about him. That if you all go to Udupi, I don't know how many of you have gone to Udupi, one of the amazing temples that has such a tradition of devotion and regulation. And of course, the story of Udupi is elaborate. How the Lord turned for his devotee, because his devotee was not being allowed to go inside the temple. He was just taking darshan from a window, and then the Lord turned towards this devotee and broke the whole wall there, just so that his devotee can get darshan. So usually in different in temples there is a hundi. So this time when Pejawar Swami became Acharya, he made a special hundi, and this hundi was not to collect any money. This hundi was supposed to, there were chits there that's supposed to, that when you come to a holy place, when you come to visit and purify yourself in the holy place, at least one bad habit you should give up. So and he recommended this, the Lord, that when you come to Udupi, write a bad habit that you have been suffering through, you have been addicted to, and write this and offer it to Krishna. Put it into this hundi, requesting Krishna, please, I want to get over this. And when we had gone to a few yatras, it was a very purifying experience to write down your bad habits. Which one do you really want to give up, and pray to Udupi Krishna that, oh Krishna, please help me to give up that. So it was very much welcomed by many people, and many people could come out of, because now that there was a promise given to Krishna that I will give this up. Other than that, he was also very broad-minded. Swami, that no matter which in his they had made a huge hall, and some Muslims wanted to use that hall for some function, for some their religious festival, of course without any kind of violence. And although the others were saying why should we give them, but Maharaj Pejor Swami, he said no, if they want to glorify the Lord in their way, let us give them. But at the same time, he was one of the founding members of Vishwa Hindu Parishad in the late 70s. This one group like RSS, some of you may be knowing. So VHP has been working to keep the temples in shape and of course the whole Hindu religion together. So he was one of the founding members, and this whole Ram Janmabhoomi, he was a proponent to make this happen. And both times when Narendra Modi, India's Prime Minister, was taking his oath, he had called Pejor Swami because he considers him one of his gurus. And other than that, among the Madhva Acharyas, the current devotees that are there, gurus, not most of them, but many of them were not really okay with ISKCON's tradition. Although we call ourselves as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, they had a severe objection for Madhva being included because some of the practices are completely different, and the traditions that they follow. I remember once I had doing this as part of Pejor Swami's taking sannyas, becoming again it is called as Paryay. Again becoming as Acharya. So in the Paryay I had gone, and of course the prasadam was differently served for different sections. For the Madhva Brahmanas, it was in one particular place. For the other castes, based on the different castes and different system divisions they have, they had kept different places for prasad. Some of myself and one more brahmachari, we really wanted to see how are the Brahmanas served, how are the Madhva Brahmanas served. So somehow by our saffron we just sneaked in, and we knew the place where it was being served. One angle was maybe we'll get more items, or the Udupi Prasad is really very good quality. But another was just a curiosity to know. So when we went and sat there, so we saw that everybody, almost the whole hall there, first of all everybody was looking, who are these coming? But somehow because we were second initiated, we had that Janayut, right? And nobody is allowed to go in front of the Lord wearing a kurta. You have to remove your kurta, your upper cloth, and for the ladies they have to cover their head, and they have to be in the traditional clothes, otherwise the entry is not allowed. So we removed our upper cloth, but still they knew these are not meant to be here. And then almost everybody that was sitting in the hall were having Achman cups, because before they take prasad, they do some kind of ritual purifying the food. I really don't know what exactly they do, but they take the food and they circulate, rotate their hand 3 times, and then they take out their food and keep for 2. I heard one is for their ancestors, and another small thing is for Bhutas. Like we hear Prabhupada always saying that before one eats prasad, a grahastha has to go out and call others. So as maybe a tradition of that, they take out two small mounds of prasad and keep it outside of their banana leaf plate. And after doing this kind of achaman kind of thing, then they start taking prasad. And then we were just totally caught off guard. We didn't know what to do because we didn't know how to do it and what is this. But somehow there were some VIPs, some VIPs that were also not part of it. They also had come and sat next to us. So then we got kind of mixed in that group, and nobody really noticed us. But we could see that there is so many rules and regulations that are in place for in the Madhva Sampradaya. So they take a lot of objections when we in many things that we do. We usually apply that principle about holy name in almost everything. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So the rules and regulations we don't follow as strictly as Madhvas. Like the Madhva Acharya, the one who is worshipping the Lord, there is the Madhva Kund that is there next Madhva Sarovar. So he has to take bath, and right with the clothes that he has taken bath, he has to go into the altar and worship that. It's called as Madi. And so there is no changing of clothes or other places. You have to go right in that. And during the worship, they cannot yawn, they cannot sneeze, they cannot pass air. And if you do any of this, then you have to go take bath and again come up. So quite intense, and that too you have to do every day for 2 years. So there is so they have to keep their health also very much in shape for that. So Pejar Swami, although many of the Madhva people were not supporting ISKCON, he was one of the first acharyas who was supporting that Chaitanya Prabhu's Sampradaya is part of our Sampradaya, because he met Madhvacharya, he went to the Himalayas in Badrinath, he met Vyasdev, Madhvacharya met Vyasdev, and then Madhavendra Puri was part of the Madhva Sampradaya. If you not fully following the way Madhvas were doing, but if you read the 32 Acharyas list, then it starts at some stage so after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it totally becomes Gaudiya. And so there was kind of a lot of tension between ISKCON devotees, especially in Karnataka, and Madhvas, because they were not perceived properly. But he openly spoke, supporting ISKCON and praising Srila Prabhupada, that how, because their sannyasis are not supposed to go out of cross 7 oceans. It's considered a sinful activity in the Vedas, that to cross 7 oceans. So none of their sannyasis are allowed. But Prabhupada, for the sake of preaching, he went and he appreciated that, and he openly glorified that. See, for what he has gone, it's not just for making money or other things. He has gone. And he also appreciated Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much, and his emphasis on Harinam and his emphasis on this verse, Tirnadapi Sunichena. Especially, he had a very close bonding with Radhanath Maharaj, and he very much appreciated this verse that Maharaj always keeps quoting. Even when we had gone for Yatra, he was mentioning that how this emphasis on this verse, Tirnadapi Sunichena, Taroriva Saishna, Manina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadari. This is the essence of all the knowledge that is there, and he very much appreciated. And so therefore Chopati devotees are also even more closer to Pejar Swami. So both in the Bhagavatam and in the current So setup, we need to appreciate the devotees that are around us, and now that he has gone, we all feel such a great loss that wish we could have gone for more of his events, and he used to come sometimes here. We wish we could have gone there, but once a devotee leaves, it is we can never get him again. And so coming to this, here it is being said that a person, once he in this particular verse, that once a person starts to practice bhakti yoga, his whole existence no longer remains material, but it starts to become spiritualized. And another thing that this verse is mentioning is that the things that people are aspiring for outside or in the material world, those things start to follow you. That here Krishna Prabhupada mentions about bhakti and mukti, these three things, that liberation from all suffering, and bhakti is enjoyment of all things. So both things become the servants of this queen of bhakti. Bhakti is compared to a queen here, and muktir mukranjali. The mukti stands with a folded hands in front of the devotee, that please accept me. Something that is so rare, that is something that is so difficult to attain, becomes a subservient, and the devotee, he doesn't want them, because he is so absorbed in Krishna that he doesn't want opulence, he doesn't want liberation, he doesn't want mystic powers. Now honestly, all of us, we very much would like, we are entrapped by all these three things. We want to be free from suffering, we want some kind of material enjoyment, and we are also interested in impressing others, having some kind of special power by which we can prove ourselves to be a bit special. So with our current conditioning, it is important that we focus on what is the ideal, because if we remain faithful for the ideals that we strive for, this is one of Maharaj's quotes which I like very much, then slowly we'll get there. If there is no ideals that we look up to or try to follow, then wherever we are, we kind of feel, I am doing nice. Like there was one boy whom I used to do a college hostel program long back, and this boy, I used to go, and he used to tell me that prabhuji, I am the only one in this whole hostel that is chanting regularly. So he was telling with lot of some kind of great pride. So I asked him that, so how long have you been chanting? He said, more than 2 years. And how many rounds are you chanting? He said, 2 rounds. So it's very good that he's chanting 2 rounds, but since chanting of 2 rounds, he is feeling that he is doing something so special. So usually whatever bhakti we do, usually the mind tries to convince us that we are doing a lot, and in the material world, how much we are doing, the mind keeps saying that you are not doing enough for your family or for your job, and this is how the mind tricks. So therefore, one of the main ways by which our bhakti element becomes strong is how are we putting our mind to, as Facebook's tagline says, what's on your mind. And what's on our mind is usually either wanting to get opulences, wanting to get liberation, but wanting to get mystic powers. But we should understand from reading of Bhagavatam that even after getting all this, one won't be happy, one won't be satisfied. See with the story of Durvasa Muni. In spite of having so many mystic powers, still the anger element that is satisfied, and there will be somebody else who will be more powerful. And with liberation, that yes, you can be liberated and you can be free from suffering, but then there is no positive activity, you will be bored. Sometimes when we get vacation, when there is no activity, we feel well. Relief from one activity gives us some kind of pleasure, but then we have to get, like, what do people do when they go on vacation? It's not that, yes, for some time they may sleep, but then they go out into the world, try to eat something, read something, they have to do some activity. So liberation, in the ultimate sense of not wanting to do any activity, is not possible. So, and what to speak of wanting to get opulences, but a devotee has to consciously understand and experience by step trying to devote time, energies for Krishna, sacrificing, because bhakti becomes only realized when there is surrender, when there is taking that step, although not feeling that kind of full taste in it, full kind of conviction in it, and therefore that is what requires faith. And that's why in the Rupa Goswami mentioned that Adav Shraddha, that we need faith, because at every step of bhakti, the whole doubt element that is there in the mind is very much confusing and weakening our determination. That's what Krishna says, that Samshayatma, that one who doubts, he destroys everything. And if you see the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it's three types of doubts that three individuals had. The Dhritarashtra, the whole Gita starts with doubt. That his doubt was, did they actually fight? What did they do? We were discussing last time. And his whole observation or his whole focus was on, did they do it or not? Did they start fighting or not? And the Duryodhana, his observation or his doubt was that, yes, we want to fight, but how are we going to win this war? So therefore he goes to Dronacharya and trying to analyze. The Dhritarashtra was blind materially and strategically. He just wanted to win, to have the kingdom. He just was interested in the end product, that I want to be the king. Duryodhana, who is a bit more aggressive, he was not just on what, but how am I going to get there for what I want? Yes, I want to be the king, but how do I want to get there? And in that he had a doubt. Wow! And Dhritarashtra's doubt was based on that the place is effective, the place is spiritual, it's a dharma kshetra, so therefore he may get influenced, and also because Krishna was there personally present, so there was the doubt in Dhritarashtra's mind. Duryodhana's doubt was not about the place, it was about the people. His doubt was about Drishtadumna, who is the son of Dronacharya, is there on the other side, and he has arranged the military phalanxes very, very nicely, and so therefore he has a severe doubt on how it is going to happen. Yes, I want it to happen, but how it is going to happen? So his whole focus was on how. And therefore, even when he mentions, when he is trying to, once he understands that I have analyzed how of the enemies too much, how their strategy too much, Anyecha Bhavasura. So he also shifts his focus to his side, and he says, "Don't worry, Dronacharya." He was also trying to convince himself that we are also well equipped. We are also all the means to get the result is also there with us. But still, he had the doubt that will Drishtadumna actually fight? Will Dronacharya actually fight properly? Will Bhishma actually fight? Are they going to engage in the activity? Yes, if they engage, they're going to be success. But are they going to engage because of that? affection. Uh, Arjuna also had a doubt. Arjuna's doubt was not what are they doing or how are they doing, but why are we doing this? That why are we fighting it after all? And usually the Dhritarashtra's kind of mindset is considered to be in the mode of ignorance, where you wait for the world to give results to you. You're hoping that maybe your spouse or your boss or your temple president or somebody in your life is going to get victory to you, is going to get happiness for you, is going to do something that you want, but you're hoping and praying to God that, oh God, let this happen without me putting any hard work. So that's usually tamoguna, that you want things to happen, and then if things don't happen the way you want them to happen, then you start blaming, you start playing the victim card. And Dhritarashtra always played that kind of victim card. Duryodhana, he was not just was waiting what is the election scores today, or what is this, that I'm going to act to make this happen. This is usually mode of passion, where you take charge of things and think that yes, I will do everything, I can do it, and therefore in that mindset you are mainly worried about the means to get to the end, the how of life. But whereas the Arjuna, although he was well equipped to fight, the whole strategy was there, but he really wanted to clarify this why. And if you read both the first chapter of the Gita, neither Duryodhana or Dhritarashtra mention about Krishna, because that factor doesn't come in our results or in our means. Krishna's factor only comes when we try to find out the purpose. Why are we doing what we are doing? And the first phase of that is usually more confusion and more anguish than others. It's a very painful process to try to find out the purpose of existence. And therefore, Duryodhana, when he asked this question, it was painful. Just like when you try to clean a place, the dirt, when it is accumulated, it becomes more than what you normally perceive. And especially when you get a new broom, something that is very fresh, like those of you who have broomed in India, you know that a broom in the initial stages itself creates so much dirt. There is so many particles of this grain in the broom, that when you broom, the more dirt comes from the broom than the actual room. So you start wondering that is this broom cleaning the place, but that's the broom that you have, and unless you keep applying, the dirt in the broom will never go away, and slowly the room will also get cleaned. Same way with our offensive chanting, that chanting is like the broom that is going to clean the mind, or using the mind we are going to apply. But when you're going to chant, or when we try to apply the mind itself creates so much obstacles, so much dirt. But it's only a phase that a devotee has to kintu adarat. As Rupa Goswami says, kintu adarat anudinam. I'll end with this. One of the important things that many times we miss is that he says that yes, Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapa Vidya, that yes, Krishna's name is very sweet, but because of avidya, pittopatapta rasanasya na rochikanu, there is no taste that we experience. But then the solution is this, kintu adarad anudinam anusaiva jushta. He says, but every day, consistently one has to keep chanting. But the main word in that is adarat, is respectfully. And this aspect of respect is something that we miss a lot in our devotion service. Sometimes the respect, many times we're chanting, but why are we not attentive? Because if you analyze your own life, what you respect, that's what you are very attentive to. If you respect a person, the respect is shown by your attention. And if the attention is not there, then there is some issue with your respect. And we kind of say this, that he disrespected because he didn't pay attention to me. So same with, if we are not being attentive in our chanting, so it is not just a mental trick that yes, you have to keep coming back. It's not that we are not valuing the process of bhakti. We are not valuing Krishna's holy name enough. We are not respectful enough to Krishna's name. That may be reason why we are inattentive. And the way we can be attentive is by understanding the glories and respectfully approaching the process, respectfully approaching the deities, respectfully approaching the holy name, respectfully approaching devotees. Because where there is respect, there is attention. So, so a devotee has to focus on these two things that Rupa Goswami mentions, kintu adarad anudinam, that we have to do regularly, but we have to do respectfully. And the challenge is these two, to be respectful and to be regular. Because anything that you do regular, the respect goes off. And only if somebody you meet after a long time, then there is some kind of attention, respect. But to do this two regular, this R&R, this respect and regularity, if we can maintain this, then we hope to advance in our journey toward the lotus feet of Krishna. I'll stop here and see if any devotees have any questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Very, very nice explanation. And also pointed out how we can chant it correctly. So then we can attain the goal. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very beautiful class. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranams. Thank you so much. Very, very beautiful class. You explained about how initially Bhagavad Purana is highlighting something very unique from other Puranas, role reversals, and your glorification of Pejawar Swami. Very nice to hear, Prabhuji. We wouldn't get these treasures anywhere. So thank you so much for your association. Just a question on how we are in the Madhva Sampradaya, but like we see that there are so many differences, and especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita also we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation with that time Madhva priests, and he established the importance of holy name over the other ritualistic ceremonies.
Yes. Yes.
So how Prabhuji, and we also know that Madhvacharya was the one who gave out so much emphasis on personally worshipping the deity form of the Lord and the supremacy of Krishna. But now we see that they are more into rituals, and also they dress the deity of Udupi Krishna in various, for example, if it's Navaratri, they dress them as Shakti or something like that. I don't know, I've heard of that. Yeah, so can you, if possible, shed some light so that we can understand this better?
Oh, once one of our devotees, Anandandavan Prabhu, he's a lot into chanting and other. So he went to one of the matas, these Madhva matas that surround, and he was chanting there. And after a time, when this sannyasi finished his deity worship and his whatever is the devotion service, when he came out, so he wanted to ask few questions. So he asked him that how can I increase my taste and absorption in Krishna and chanting, and then he explained. But then he was insisting and he said that how mind doesn't allow you to focus on Krishna, it keeps taking you many different places. And then when he heard that, then this Madhva Sannyasi, he said that, oh, if your mind is giving you trouble, then to control your mind you worship Lord Shiva. So our Ananda was taken aback that how can a Vaishnava Acharya recommend me to worship Shiva? So he asked him that, not that we don't worship Lord Shiva. He said no, the Krishna has given different departments to different. He has empowered different living beings with the different powers, and the mind is a material element, it's a certain material element. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shaktitam. So the mind is supposed to be put in Krishna service, but the mind is giving you trouble, then you request Lord Shiva to help you to focus your mind on Krishna. Just like the Katyayani Vrata that we have, that gopis were requesting Mother Durga that please give Krishna as the husband. So when they decorate Krishna in different of these forms, the whole mood is that it is Krishna who is coming in these different forms to manifest. And also it is said in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that when a particular role is, there is no qualified living entity to take up some particular role, then it is Krishna who assumes. Just like say temple president is there. There is nobody in the kitchen to cook today. So the temple president goes and cooks. So same way, the Krishna himself, sometimes he comes as different devatas when there is no qualified living entity. So therefore, he in many of the Manvantaras, sometimes Krishna himself comes as Indra, sometimes Krishna himself comes as Varuna. So therefore, in the Rig Veda, when the Indra is being glorified, when Varuna is being glorified as the Supreme, there is different Puranas. One of the understandings is usually it is those incarnations that came, and ultimately even in this particular thing, the power that they are exhibiting is of the Supreme Lord only. So with that understanding, they decorate different ways, and obviously they have been more emphasizing on bhajan, on practicing. There is this whole kind of accusation that in the Madhva Sampradaya there have hardly been any fall downs, only very few, 2 or 3 sannyasis not able to keep up their vows and later getting married. But whereas in ISKCON we see so many. And one reason for that is that they check the astrology and there is a strong varnashram that is followed, so the mind is more in control. But another is there is strong regulations between how much the sannyasis can conduct, how they are always surrounded by people. By Peja Swami constantly was like, he used to go to every disciple's house and meet them and talk with them and inquire about them. He was very personal. I couldn't share much about Peja Swami. It was almost like Sanatan Goswami, how we hear that how he used to be a kind of a friend to everyone. So same kind of mood Peja Swami had. So their emphasis has always is more on deity worship. So we respect that. But what Mahaprabhu emphasized is to chant the holy name, because whole process of deity worship is also, if you read the third canto of Bhagavatam, it is the whole way by which you approach deity is through mantras. So if you're not chanting the names, the whole process that is involved is the chanting of the holy names only. Just that it becomes a more personal. Those any of you that worship, so that personal aspect is more revealed, is more reflective in deity worship along with chanting. But Prabhupada, understanding that we can get confused, so he just gave us the essence to worship, to preach and chant the holy names. And regarding the sannyasis, that ISKCON is most of us, most of the preachers that have gone through such a difficult endeavors, going to difficult places, meeting all kinds in different difficult situations. So the kind of trouble that has been taken. Yesterday, one of our brahmacharis was giving the analogy that is, a soldier is there that has gone into the war field and he has been wounded. He would not have been wounded if he didn't go into the war field. If he was just staying in the camp, he would not be wounded. But the very fact that his soldier has gone, and it's not that he was all perfect, he was not alert in different things, or maybe the enemy was more powerful than, so he gets wounded. So when he comes back, nobody chastises him, why are your clothes dusted, or where is your rifle, or this or that, because he has gone through such a struggle. So same way, ISKCON we see as many apparent fall downs, but all these have given up in not being careful. We have to take lesson for that, but they have sacrificed, seeing the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, going out and trying to convince Jagayu and Madais of this world. So in regards to different sampradayas having different emphasis, we respect and appreciate the things that they are upholding very nicely, and we don't have to convert. That as Bhagavatam says, there are 9 types of devotional service. Any one of them properly practiced will lead to the ultimate result. And we see that compassion, that kind of genuineness, the absorption in the Lord, which we are aspiring for, is also reflected in others. But the methods by which they approach, yes, the most easiest method is what Mahaprabhu has given, but other methods are not to be discounted. If somebody else is following that, yes, they can try this. They're most welcome to add this into their thing, but we shouldn't become overly pushy to other people who are following some kind of proper one of the as Navavida Bhakti, into that. No, you should do this only. Okay, hope that answers.
Yeah, very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your very, very wonderful association and sharing with us so many of your realizations and by practical examples, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Sure. Questions or
Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, is there anybody having any more questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandakulam. Thank you for the very enlightening class. I just have one question. Many times as devotees, we do tend to understand that our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is, of course, the Kali Yuga Dharma, which is chanting the holy names of the Lord, especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in our Sampradaya. And
and that's how we go back to Godhead. But I mean, we also see that Srila Prabhupada has authored so many books and wanted each one of us to read all his books and follow what's there in the books. So do you think it would be, very short-sighted to just assume that chanting will get us back to Godhead? I mean, I would understand if we are on the level of Srila Haridas Thakur, but practicing sadhakas who are bombarded by the material energies every second of our living. I mean, we do have to follow the rules and regulations and, read Srila Prabhupada's books and try to imbibe and also preach and practice and things like that. So I would like to know your thoughts on this, Prabhuji.
Yes, there is a story of one brahmachari in Gaudiya Math. He was chanting and not doing any service. So the temple authorities were angry with him. So they went and complained to Bhaktinta that he is not doing any service. He is just sitting and chanting all day. So should we keep him in the temple or do we want to? So Bhaktinta he said that, why do you think chanting is not service? But of course, can he do that? Can we do that constantly? And even when we are chanting, is our mind attentive? No. And because we are not able to, so if you read Japari from book, that the whole goal of in the spiritual world, the background is the chanting, the foreground is the pastimes, is the activities. But in devotee's life, the foreground is chanting, the main, and for that we adjust all our other things. But because in chanting there is no attention, there is no, the mind gets, as I rightly said, influenced by Maya. We need the factor of the intelligence to keep us on check. So the intelligence becomes strengthened by reading of Srila Prabhupada's books. So therefore, we very much recommend and we have to be connected to Prabhupada's books. And honestly, when we are reading Srila Prabhupada's books, then that purification that is there of the intelligence also helps us to chant better. So therefore, that is there. But at the highest level, it is that whether somebody is doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, all of them have they are all on the Advaya platform. They are all on the non-dual platform. They are all absolute. But at our stage, as you rightly said, yes, we need to be fascinated by Krishna, by hearing about his philosophy, his pastimes, and that fascination should also come into that the same thing that I'm getting attraction in hearing different pastimes is also there. Shri Radhika Madhavaya Gunarupa Namna. That same things that are there, that qualities of Krishna are making me attracted to Krishna, and therefore I am chanting his names. One to whom you are attracted to, so you usually try to chant. But of course, Krishna's name itself becomes so sweet after a time that we want to chant that constantly. But that is so as you said, we have to keep hearing, keep our mind, our intelligence purified, so that we don't deviate. So that is there, Mataji. Thank you for also pointing that. We have to be regularly hearing and reading. At least one lecture a day we should hear, either of our spiritual masters, Prabhupada, or 2 or 3. Just constantly, if there is there are routine activities in which our intelligence is not needed. So fill those routine activities with hearing. Apart from specific hearing, that we sit and hear, that is even a better option. But whenever we can do that, just sit and submit to a personal speaker of Bhagavatam and hear. So that is an important consideration also. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Also, from reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, I had understood when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually preaching to the Mayavad philosophers, he actually first begins with the importance and the glories of chanting, which will lead us back to Godhead. But then he also later down the road, he also emphasizes that one who doesn't take up the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam and scriptural studies will develop a Sahajiya mentality, because he would try to jump to the end goal without actually going through the actual process of purification. So I just remembered that, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your enlightenment.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the beautiful class.
Thank you, Mataji. And I wish this year 2020 brings all of you great vision. 2020 was one of the visionary things about vision, so great vision, and bring more dedication towards the vows that we have taken to progress and serve and please Krishna and his devotees. So wishing all of you a year of great progress, and also seeking all of your blessings that I can also bring more dedication and determination in practice and service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your wonderful service, Prabhuji. Please pay obeisances to Prabhuji or the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
kripa sindhu bhesha kritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, मोहन प्रभु की जय।